Good morning students. Welcome back to Information Technology topic Advanced Web Designing lecture 7. In these lectures you are going to learn group selector and positioning in CSS. So let's begin. What is group selector? The grouping selector is used to select all the elements with the same style definitions. It is used to minimize the code. Commas are used to separate each selector in grouping. In short, grouping selector means instead of using the separate selector, we can make them together and use. So that is called a grouping selector. For example, using H1, H2 paragraph tag separately, we can make them together H1, H2 and P tag, and we can use in HTML elements. Let's see the CSS code without group selector. So first selector H1, here text align is given center, color is given blue. So this is the style we have created for the H1 selector. Second H2, the same style is created for the H2 and the same style is created for the paragraph again here. So instead of using separately H1, H2 and paragraph, we can make them together and we can use like this code. You can see you need to define CSS property, all the elements it can be grouped as H1, H2, P. It means together, and you can create one style. Here I have created text align equals center, color blue. Here three different way we use. So this is called separate selector. This is not a grouping selector, but here we make them group. So here we use group selectors. So let's say the example how to use in HTML program. So while writing the HTML5 program, you know the first tag you use, that is called doc type HTML, then HTML, then head tag, then style tag. In this style tag you have to create a group selector. Here you have to use the group selector H1, H2, P. These are the three selectors we use to create a text align center and color blue. This is the style we are going to use for the HTML elements. Once you finish creating the group selector in the style tag and you created one style, then close the style tag, then close the head tag, then start with the body tag. In the body section you are going to use this selector H1, H2 and P selectors. Now I am using H1 for hello heading. The first selector is over. The second selector I use H2 for the next HTML elements, and I am using a hello heading 2 in smaller font because H2 is smaller than H1. The next paragraph tag I use, and this is the third selector, that is called P selector, and the same style will go for this element. This is paragraph, and then close the body tag, and then close the HTML tag. Okay, once you completed this program, you have to save with .html with the group selector name. So group selector.html, and you open the or run this program in the browser, you will get the output, and you will see the output like this: hello heading 1, hello heading 2 in smaller font, and this is a paragraph, because every HTML element will get the same alignment and same color. Here we use the alignment that is center and the color blue. Let's see positioning in CSS. Positioning means deciding the place on the web page where we are going to put the elements. Once you decided the place where you are going to put the elements, so that is called the positions. You decided the place. I want some element on top, I want some element bottom, some element I want to left side, some element I want right side. So CSS helps to position the HTML element. The positioning property is used to set position for an element, and the element can be positioned using the top, bottom, left and right properties. Let's see the syntax of CSS positioning. Before you place any elements, you must learn the syntax. Syntax means what? Grammar. The grammar will tell you where you are going to put exact that value. Means the syntax. Syntax here first you are going to use the selector. In this selector, what has to be used? Position and then the value. Then the value top, again you are going to use the value. Then left, again you are going to use the value. Bottom, value, and right value. This is the syntax. This is the grammar. When you are going to write HTML program, you are going to use this syntax. Where values in positions are fixed, absolute, relatives, and values of top, bottom, left, right are in pixel. So here positionings are fixed, absolute, relatives, and values are top, bottom, left, right. These are the values that you are going to define in a pixel. There are 4 types of positioning in CSS. Let's see the first one, that is called static positioning. A static positioning, this is a by default positioning for HTML element. It is not affected by the top, bottom, left, and right properties. The second one is fixed positioning. This property helps to put the text fixed on the browser. The fixed property forces an element into a fixed position relative to the browser window. The fixed element will not move even when the page is scrolled. That will be fixed on the particular place. If you scroll down the page, then also you will see the element will remain on the same position. They are not going to move from one place to the another. And the third, relative positioning. The relative positioning property is used to set the element relative to its normal position. And the absolute positioning. This property sets an element in specific location and it is not affected by the flow of the page. This property positions the element at the specified coordinate relative to your screen, top left corner or somewhere else. So these are the 4 positionings you will find in CSS. Let's say an example of fixed positioning in CSS. So open Notepad and type the basic tag which we are going to use, that is doc type HTML, HTML head, and create a style. In the style you are going to use the class. Here I use the fix is the class name, P is the class. So here I am going to create a fixed position. So positions I use fix. Top value I use 50 pixel. Right value I use 5x and color blue. So here I have created the style for the fixed positions. Now this style you are going to use in HTML element. So close the style tag, then close the head tag, then close body tag, and in the body sections, which element in the HTML program you are going to use these fixed positions, use that fixed positions class over here, that paragraph tag. This is paragraph, this is paragraph 2 means paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and the paragraph 3. And the next I use the class where I use these fixed positions. So I am using here P class equal fixed because fixed is the class name, and what style I have created for this class will be applied to this element in HTML program. Here it is written, this is the fixed position text. So you will get this fixed positions, top 50 pixel, right 5 pixel, and color blue you will get. When you run the program, you will get that output. Close the body tag and close the HTML tag, and let's see the output. So this is the output. Now see the paragraph 1, I did not apply any class or not fix any positions over there. Second also there is no position, and third also no, but the fourth I use here, this is the fixed positions text. Here we say that 50 pixel from right side, that's why it went right side, and the color shows the blue. So this is the output of positioning, fixed positioning in CSS. Let's see the example of relative positioning in CSS. Relative positioning in CSS. Relative positioning will keep the distance between 2 elements. Now by using the relative positioning in CSS, The same tag you are going to use, which tag you are going to use to type HTML program. First tag is doc type HTML, second HTML, third head tag, and then you start with the style tag. In this style tag you are going to create a style by using the id class. Okay, dot, first I use the id name over here, and I use the positions relative. This is a relative positioning. Top I use minus 10 pixels, right I use 10 pixels, and I completed this styles. So here the style I have created, and again I use H2 selector to create a positioning absolute. In the absolute positions left I use 100 pixels, top 150 pixels, and here I completed this positioning. Then you can complete the style tag. Here you have decided what positioning you want in the HTML element. Now go to the body sections. In the body tag you use this positioning for the element. Okay, you are going to use that. Now here I use h1 class first, because this is first is a class name, and I use for this is heading 1, means this first positioning relative top 10 pixel and right 10 pixel will be applied to this heading. Then h2, this is heading 2, will not h2 will get the absolute left 100 pixel and top 150 pixels, means left side 100 pixel the text will move, and from the top 150, so you will get a distance between two elements. Now close the body tag and then close HTML tag. Save this file with the name relative positioning.html and open in browser and check the output. Now see the output here. So here the first element, this is heading 1, and the second element, this is heading 2. In between this distance you can see that distance called as a relative positionings, and the absolute positioning is here. This text is shifted to the right side because we use the value to shift to the right side. So this distance called as a relative positioning. In the output, the label 1 heading with the class first have a relative positioning 10 pixel above and 10 pixels to the right of its original position. Label 2 heading will be positioning 100 pixel from the left of the browser window and 150 pixel from the top of the browser window. So today we'll stop here only. In the next sessions we will see the another example of HTML5 program. Thank you and have a nice day.